Good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well this morning. Let me move this down. It has been a hot minute since I have been here with you. And that is crooked. Okay, that looks straight. I take my iPad down and work on it in the evenings, and so every time I do a video I have to put it back up anyway, so everything's a little discombobulated this morning. I hope everybody's doing okay. If you're here watching me this morning, please shoot me a comment. Let me know that you're here with me this morning. My name is Jana Edwards, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Corpus Christi, Texas. And I go live twice a week to show you how to use your Stampin' Up! Products and make really cute projects with your Stampin' Up! Products. I give you tips and tricks and everything throughout the videos. Today we are going to be working with the Scenic Adventure Bundle. It's really cute. And the, what's it called? Beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper. So if you have those products, pull them out. Play with them with me this morning. There is a link in the description of the video that should have a supply list that'll take you straight to my website so that you can add all of the supplies to your cart. So if you add them to your cart, just be sure to go through and review your cart and delete anything that you don't want. When you place a $50 order in my online store by Saturday the 6th, I will send you a kit to create all of the projects for this week. That is 4 cards or 4 projects, whatever 4 projects that we create during the week. I go live Tuesdays and Thursdays, so be sure to join me for those. I post the projects on my blog at stampeninc.com. I also have a Facebook group if you would like to become a part of that Facebook group. I'm trying to grow my participation on my Facebook group, so please feel free to go and join that group. There's a link in the description of the video. There should be links in the description of the video for everything that I talk about today. If there isn't, please shoot me a DM and let me know, hey, I was looking for this and I couldn't find it. Could you send me the link? And I'll be happy to do that. I have a few announcements this morning. If you're on my email newsletter list, I send out 3 emails a week. And I send one out on Sundays to let you know what the featured product is for that week, and then a couple of reminders. I'll send another one out on Tuesday for any specials or anything that Stampin' Up! Is offering. And then I also send out an email on Friday that has a little freebie for you. I usually create a fun fold each week, and I will send you a PDF tutorial for that fun fold. So if you would like to have any of that information come straight to your inbox, please subscribe to my email newsletter. There's a link, like I said, in the description of the video. If you comment and share the video this week, either Tuesday's videos or Thursday's video, I'm going to draw 2 winners this week, one from Tuesday and one from Thursday. And all you need to do is comment and share the video. Make sure if you do share the video, especially on YouTube and Facebook, that you comment shared. And then that way, that will get you entered into the drawing, and I will send you the completed cards, a set of the completed cards for this week. So we'll have 2 winners this week, one from Tuesday's live and one from Thursday's live, okay? And I'll draw the winner on Sunday, and I'll draw the winner on Monday. You'll have until Monday to like and share the videos, and then I'll draw the winner Monday afternoon, and I'll announce it Tuesday during next week's live. How does that sound? I think that'll flow really well. What else? Stampin' Up! Is making some changes. They are retiring all of the Stampin' Up! Markers. So if you like Stampin' Up! Markers, please go and order those. They're doing this for one reason in particular. They are also retiring all of their red rubber stamps, their cling stamps, and they're going strictly to photopolymer stamps, the clear stamps. So if you have, so for instance, these stamps, the red rubber stamps, they're retiring these. So any stamps that are in the current annual catalog that are red rubber will retire when the annual catalog retires. They'll put them on the last chance list, and when they're gone, they're gone. They have a few stamp sets that are cling in the new mini catalog that's coming out in September. And those will also retire they'll move those items to the last chance list when that catalog retires also. It should retire, I think it's September to December. So those items will retire. The main purpose for the Stampin' Up! Markers was to add different colors to your cling stamps. And so now that they're retiring the cling stamps, they don't have, sales for the markers have gone down already. And once the cling stamps are gone, they will probably go down even more. But this is what I'm talking about when I say markers. It's their markers. They started selling the blends, the alcohol markers, which are these markers in packs of 2. A couple years ago, and those have become super, super popular for coloring your images. And the sale of the Stampin' Right markers has declined. So those items will be retiring. So go grab those if you like those markers. Please go grab those while they're still available. I am going to, and also stamp cases. Stamp cases, they're changing since Stampin' Up! Is going to their cling stamps. Let me find so since they're going to the photopolymer stamps, which are clear stamps like this, currently we get our stamps in this case, like nice little DVD type case. But they are going to be going to something like this. The envelope that your dies currently come in, they're going to start putting the stamps in these kind of cases. So your dies will come in these plastic envelopes, and your stamps will currently come in your plastic envelopes. So just keep that in mind. I don't know how soon they're going to start transitioning everything to that packaging, but I would assume that it'll be any photopolymer stamp set outside of the current mini catalog will come in that type of packaging. So I would assume everything, just know that you'll probably start seeing the transition towards the end of this year, okay? That's all I have this morning. So grab your cup of coffee. I actually have water today. I've already had my cup of coffee, and I ran out of my flavored syrup that I like to put in my coffee. So I just made me some flavored water this morning. So I'm going to take a sip of my water. Okay. And I'm going to turn the camera down so that you can see the work surface. And let me see right here. So here we go. And I hope the lighting is okay today. I've tried to fix it a couple of times, but I can't remember if I saved it to where it would stay light or not. But anyway, like I said, today we're going to be playing with the Scenic Adventure stamps, the bundle. And it comes like this. So you have all these stamped images here, and then these dies to play with. Today, I think we're mainly going to be concentrating on just a few of the dies and a few of the stamps. But on Thursday, I'm going to use some of the dies and show you how to do some coloring on a background. I'm also using the, hang on, let me find it. The Beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper. This is part of the, I think, something gallery motifs But the paper has a lot of, I'll just show you real quick. The paper's beautiful. It has your A side with the scenic, and then your B side. So this reminds me of like wallpaper, vintage wallpaper. But look at, isn't this beautiful? The scenery, and then it's just a blank other side. So you can use them for lots of different things. This, I would personally put this in a frame and hang it on the wall. I think it's gorgeous. And then again, you have your pattern side. Let's see, pull the rest of this, and then here we have a pattern side, and then here's more florals. So pretty. This is just like your tone on your monochromatic tones, and then look at this. This is what we're going to be using today. We're going to use a sheet of this today. Here's another one, just a scene. This would be pretty in a frame too. And then like I said, it reminds me of vintage wallpaper. We saw this one already, and I think we saw this one. So here's a floral side. I love this. And then it looks like a street map or a city map. And then here's one that's got kind of a nautical feel to it. Would be really cute to use with the sailboat stamp set. This is very moody colors, which is really what's in right now, I think. And then here's just another sheet. All right, so there's that. I wanted to show you that. And again, this is called the Beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper. So we're going to be using a couple of sheets of that today. And it makes making cards really easy. So this is the first card that I came up with that we'll be using today. And it uses the die cuts, the die cut trees. And then I also used a label from the Mixed Labels bundle. This is a really cute bundle, but the labels look like this. You have all these different really cool labels to use. So we used that today. And you'll also get any die cuts that I use that aren't part of the bundle. You will get those in your kit for this week, okay? So we have this really cute card here. So let's go ahead and get started on this one. I'm gonna set so I don't use it. I don't lose it. All right. So I have a piece of Secret Sea cardstock that's 8.5 by 11, scored at 5.5. I'm sorry, not 8.5. It's 4 1/4. It started out at 8.5 by 11. And then I've got a scrap piece of Mossy Meadow that we're going to use to cut out the trees. And I have a scrap piece of Cloud Cover that we're going to use to cut out our sentiment label. And then a piece of basic white cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4 that's going to go on the inside of the card. Okay. And then also I have this 6 by 6 piece of Designer Series paper. We're going to cut this. Let me set this aside. I'm going to set this up here. So we're going to cut the piece of Designer Series paper. I'm going to cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5.5, right? 4 1/4 by 5. So what I'm doing is I basically just trimmed this side with the trees off of the Designer Series paper. So I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to set it aside because I'm going to cut this down to a 1-inch piece, and we're going to use it for the inside of our card. Okay, and I feel a sneeze coming on. All right, now we're going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut just an hang on. Okay, I'm going to cut this down to 3 5/8, 5 by, what is this? 1, 2, 3/8, 5 3/8, and then I'm gonna turn it on the other side because I didn't want to get rid of all of the ground covering here. Now I'm gonna cut this down to 5 1/4. Or just take that little snip off of the bottom to make it a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of cardstock. All right, we're gonna and then that will just sit like this. Oh, let me go ahead and cut this. I'm going to cut this strip that we had left over down to 1 inch. Just like so. Okay. And then what we'll do, I'm going to cut it 1 inch by 5 1/4. So I'm going to do just like I did before, and then I'm going to cut just a little bit off of each end. Okay, just like so. That way, when we layer this onto our piece of white cardstock for the inside of the card, it will be just the right size. And you can put this on the right or on the left-hand side. I chose to do mine on the right, but I think I might do it on the left-hand side on this card. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some glue to this piece of designer series paper, and I'm going to glue it down to our card front, to our card base, and it's a Secret C card base. I don't know if I told you that already. So I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive, and I know I'm not out of adhesive, but I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. I like to put my card down sideways and then kind of eyeball it from this top line here. Make sure that it's straight and that I have even borders on each side, and just push it down like that. Then I'm going to add some glue to this little panel here. Well, okay, it looks like I'm going to open up a new bottle of glue. Is this one already open? Yeah, this one's already open. Okay. So then we're going to add this panel to, I'm going to grab my silicone mat so I don't get any adhesive, any glue on my work surface. And it's easier for me to work this way, top to bottom. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this panel, and we're going to put this on the inside of our card base. Just like so. Okay. And now I want to do some stamping. I'm going to grab this sentiment from the stamp set that says "Just breathe and take it slow." I want to grab my Secret C ink, and I'm going to stamp this right in the center, just like that. Then I'm gonna let me put the lid back on this before it dries out or I get it everywhere. All right, now I'm gonna grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And I'm missing one of my plates. I'm missing my top plate. Hold on just a second. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So I want to take my sentiment and I'm going to put it here. Then I'm going to grab this label die, the bigger die from the labels. I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to grab a piece of Post-it note tape to just anchor this in place. I'm going to anchor this die in place just like so, so it doesn't move on me. Then I'm going to use my scrap piece of Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to grab the trees from the die set from the Scenic Adventure Bundle. I'm going to put my trees right here, and then we're just going to run everything through the die cut machine, or Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, set this aside over here. Grab all of this. We have our cute sentiment. Isn't that pretty? I love how it does the die has the border around it. So I'm going to set that aside. Go ahead and save this because it's a scrap. I can use it for something else. The die has these little holes where you can punch out your it's going to have some negative images, like I'll show you, but it also has a hole that will help you loosen. But you see it's got all these little pieces here that are going to come out of the center of your trees. So just make sure that all of those are out before you adhere anything onto your project. All right. Now I want to take, and I'm going to add a few Stampin' Dimensionals to my label, and then I'm going to add some to the back of the label, and I'm going to add some to the back of the trees. I'm going to do 2 here, and I think I can do 1 right about there. I'm going to have to grab some minis. So let me grab my minis right here, and we'll go ahead and I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to lift these up. I'm going to add just a few minis to this. Okay, we're going to remove this from our label, and I'm going to go ahead and put my label right about there. I think it's a little crooked. There we go. I'm going to take the backings off of these. Ow. Got stuck to my fingernail. One more. And we're going to put our trees right there. Okay, then I took some linen thread, and I just tied a bow and stuck it right here between the trees. What are those called? The trees. So we're going to just tie our double bow. I just took the linen thread and I just looped it over on itself to make 2 strands. And now I'm just making a bow. Did everybody have a good Labor Day? I got in the pool yesterday afternoon. I don't know if you follow my Facebook page, but on my Facebook page I posted a picture of myself in the pool yesterday, wishing everybody a happy Labor Day. The minute I got in the pool, it started pouring down rain. Okay, now I'm going to grab those away. I'm going to grab a glue dot, and I'm just going to work it into a little ball. I'm going to use my take your pick tool and just kind of go in a circle to work this glue dot into a little bitty ball. Can you see that? It's just a little ball. Then I'm going to use I'm just going to place it right there on the back of my bow. And I'm going to stick my bow right there. Oh, not on the trees, silly. Between the trees. Right here between the 2 trees. And then I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to trim my tails on my bow just a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to grab these are the 2527 in color flat pearls. I love these, love the colors, and I'm going to use the Secret Sea colors, and I'm going to put one up here at the top. And then I'm going to do, they come like small, medium, and large. I'm going to do one there and another one right there. And there's our first card today. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. So for our second card, I didn't have anything ready. I don't have anything ready to show you yet, but I have it all in my head. So we're going to just create it together. So I started with a Mossy Meadow card base. And I'm using this piece of the Designer Series paper. And I'm going to cut it down. Again, we're going to cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Actually, I think I'm going to do 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay. So we're going to go 4 1/8, which is the second little tick mark here between 4 1/4 and 4. So we're going to do 4 1/8, and then 3/8 is 1, 2, 3. It's the little longest tick mark between the 5 1/2 and 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut it 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do it at 5 1/2 first and cut that little 1/8 of an inch off. Then I'm going to do 5 3/8. Cut that little piece off at the end. That way, when we layer it onto our card base, we're going to have a card base just like this. Okay. Now I want to add some mountains to this piece of cardstock. So where did I put? I don't know. Oh, it's right here. All right. So I'm going to take a masking sheet. Have you ever used Stampin' Up's masking sheets before? It's like a big sheet of Post-it note. It's got a crease right here in the back so you can pull it away. So I'm going to cut me about a 2-inch piece here so that we can use this on our project. I want to add some mountains here in the background. So I'm going to use this 2-inch piece and I'm going to just take the backing off. And I'm going to put it, I don't want any of my image to show on this landscape here. So I'm just going to go below that line, just a smidge. And I'm going to put that tape right there. Then I'm going to use my Petal Pink ink pad. And I'm using the mountain stamp from the stamp set. And I'm going to just stamp here. And then I'm going to go like this on this side. Then I'm going to take this masking off and I'm going to put it right up here. And I want to do just the peak of that mountain. So I'm going to do just like this. Let's see what that looks like. Just like that, okay? Go. And I cut some of these already because I just want to know how it's going to look. I have some grass pieces that we can cut. I think I'm going to cut this grass piece in Mossy Meadow. Cut a couple of them. Okay. I'm going to grab a scrap piece of Mossy Meadow. I have a folder over here to the side that has some pieces. I have one that's embossed, so let's see what that looks like. Move that to the side. I'm going to grab our grass, which is this right here. And I'm going to cut 2 of these. Cut it once, and then I'm going to cut it twice. I want to add a little bit of color, so I'm going to grab my blending brush. Let me find my green one right there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my Mossy Meadow ink pad. I just want to add a little bit of dimension to the grass pieces. And then I'm going to use my dark Mossy Meadow blend to add some flecking of color to that too, just to give it a little more dimension. Grab my scissors and I'm going to cut this. Come over here to the side and I'm just going to cut this down also. I'm going to just trimming this grass piece down like so. And I think I'm going to add one there. I'm going to layer these two on top of each other. Like so. Do we like that? Okay, I'm going to cut this piece off. I'm just going to use my scissors and round it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid glue. Oops. And just add some adhesive here and glue this down. Right in there. And then I think I might use some little dimensionals. And where's my take your pick tool? I lose everything and it's usually right here in front of me. There it is right there. Does anybody else do that? Lose your tools when you're crafting. All right, I'm going to just add these. Let me put one more right here. And then we'll glue this down. Right there. And then I'm going to use my little paper snips and just cut those off the edges, just like so. Okay. So this is going to go like this. I'm going to go ahead and use my glue and adhere this piece down to the card front. Does anybody have this set already? Have you used it? Created anything with it? I would love to see your creations. I have a... Hi, Mom. It's good to see you. I'm making a card. This was the first card that we created. It was really cute. I'm not 100%. My mom said, for those of you that can't see the comments, she said she doesn't know what I'm making, but the colors are pretty. I am trying to create a card with this new bundle that I have. We're using the Scenic Adventures. I think I'm gonna cut out some of the trees again. We'll use the trees. So I'm gonna cut out, I have them already cut out in, I used soft sea foam, but I don't think I like that. I might use, let me see what old olive looks like. I think I'll use, oh, I don't know, I kind of do like that. I kind of like that. And then we could do some flowers in one of the colors there. Ooh, kind of like that too. Okay, so I think I'm gonna cut the flowers. Do we want Calypso Coral, Peach Pie? What do we think? Let's try, let's cut some out in Calypso Coral and see what we think. Okay, so we're gonna do soft seafoam trees, and I'm gonna cut out some of the flowers in Calypso Coral. Let me grab, here it is. I did it again. I laid it down and lost it. Okay, so I'm gonna use the little flower dies from the bundle, and we're gonna cut out some of the flowers. I'm just gonna come over here. I'm not gonna move my machine. I'll just use it right here off to the side. And I'm gonna cut some of these flowers out. Since you've already seen me cut out so many other things. Okay. So I have those two. There we go. Whoops. And there's our little flowers. All these little bitty scraps. Okay, so if we take the flowers and we put them behind, I may have to cut that one off. Let's see, I want to tuck it just behind that little mountain there. So I think I'm going to have to just trim this one off here. That way we can tuck these right in there. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the back of this. Use my tweezers so I don't get it all over my fingers. If you have a pair of reversible tweezers in your toolbox, in your crafting toolkit, they're a must-have for me. All right. I'm going to tuck that right there. Then I'm going to use this extra one. I'm going to add just a little dot of glue to the back here. I'm going to tuck that right there. Okay. I'm going to glue this down flat and then pop up our little tree. With some dimensionals. There. And I'm going to use a mini dimensional right here. Put one there, and then I'm going to cut a little sliver off of my sheet, and I'm going to add it to the top branch right there. And I'm going to tuck it right in there. Okay. So cute so far. What do you think? Love, love, love. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. Okay. Now, I had a scrap label, and I honestly do not know where it came from. I think it came from my Delightful Wishes. What if because I don't want to cover that up. I don't want to cover this up, and I don't want to cover my scenery up down here. Okay, so, oops, I just knocked everything over on my table up here. Hold on, guys. All right, I put this here. I wonder, let's use, we have the different sentiments here, like you're amazing, can't wait to see you. Let the blank begin. So you can do journey, adventure, but I think, okay, so I'm gonna use a piece of, I had a piece of very vanilla cardstock. There we go. Hold on. Oh yeah, I like that. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna grab the, it's a little stamp set, and it has let the at the top and begin at the bottom so that you can fill in the center. So I'm gonna mount this real quick. right here. I'm gonna mount that, and then I'm gonna do journey. How's that? Let the journey begin. We'll see what that ends up looking like. Okay, so I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna do early espresso and mossy meadow. Okay. Uh-oh, got a piece stuck on my card. Okay. If you're out there watching, please let me know that you're here. I would love to know where you're watching from. My mom's here. I think she's probably joining on Facebook. But if you're on YouTube, I can see you on YouTube, your comments on YouTube as well. So I'm doing the Let the Begin in early espresso. And then we're going to do the journey in mossy meadow. Oh, I mounted it up backwards. Oh my gosh. Does anybody else make that mistake? I mounted the stamp set the wrong way. Okay, hold on. I mounted the stamp with the letters to the actual block instead of the other way. Okay, let's try this again. All right, one more time. All right, so we're gonna do our word journey right there in the center. Then let's see if it'll fit inside this. Look at it, it's perfect. We'll use the same label as the last card. Okay. Let me do some housekeeping here. Put some of this stuff away. All right, so I'm gonna grab my cutting machine and let me cut this down. I'm just gonna cut this sheet down real quick over here to the side. Okay. I'm gonna grab my tape. And we're gonna hold that in place there. And then we'll put this right up here at the top. Like so. I'm gonna grab some dimensionals. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of, I'm gonna just grunge it up a little bit, okay? In just a minute. I just used a brown marker blend to add some just a little bit of texture to the label so it doesn't look so crisp, because the rest of the card, everything looks so vintage. I think I'm going to do it just like so. Oops, I want it to go underneath that. Come on. I want it to go just underneath that treetop, like so. Then I'm going to, we'll do another little bow with our linen thread. I think linen thread is my favorite embellishment, I think. And I just looped it over. And tied a knot. Okay. Now I'm going to snip my ends to make the tail. And I think I'm going to add it right there. And then we'll add some little embellishments, some little blingies. We'll grab a glue dot. And again, I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool and I stick it in the center of the glue dot and then just move it around in a circle to make a little ball out of the glue dot. And then stick the center of the bow to it, pull it off, and then we just stick it right there. Okay, now we're going to use some of our dots again, our flat pearls, and I think I'm going to use the cloud cover this time. I'm going to put one there, and then I'll put the last one right about there. We'll finish off the inside of our card just like the last one. So I'm going to use that scrap piece of cardstock that we had, and I think I'm going to cut a 1-inch piece. Remove those. I'm going to cut it at 1 inches. There. I'm going to use this side, and we're going to go to 4 1/4 by 5, I think is what we have. I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of this panel that we just cut. It's 1 inch by 5. And then I'm going to add it to the side of our white piece here. You know what? I should probably, since the label is very vanilla, I should probably use very vanilla on the inside. So let me grab a piece of that real quick. I should have one cut already. Okay. We're just going to cut this down to 4. By 5 1/4. I'm going to add this to the edge of our cardstock here. Like so. I don't like that. Hold on. Well, it'll be all right. Okay, so I'm going to add some glue to the back of this panel. Here we go. And we're going to stick this to the inside, and then we'll be done with this card. So there we go. There's this one and this one. So this was the first card we did this morning, and then here's the second one. I hope that everybody enjoyed these cards today. Like I said, if you will share and comment shared on Facebook and YouTube, I will enter you into a drawing for the completed cards for this week. I'll send you the completed cards. It'll be 4 cards for this week. So I'll be live on Thursday again, and we'll do 2 additional cards using this bundle. So if you enjoyed this, come back and join me on Thursday at 3, and we will create 2 additional cards with this bundle. And this designer series paper, I think I'm going to do a little bit more stamping, and I'm going to use some of the negative images from the dies to show you how to do some shading and stuff on cardstock. But this is really cute. It's a lot of paper piecing, I know, but I think it turned out really, really cute. If you would like to be entered into the drawing to receive the completed cards for this week, like I said, please like and comment, or not like, share and comment that you shared on Facebook and YouTube, and I'll enter your name into a drawing to receive the handmade cards for this week. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Please be sure to check back, come back and join me again on Thursday at 3 o'clock for our second card class this week. And we'll see you guys on Thursday, okay? Have a happy week. I know it was Labor Day and everybody's back at work, but I hope you all have a really good week. Be safe and happy stamping.